Hi everybody, I'm Tina.
And I'm Priscilla.
And we are the Sensei Sisters. We want to talk to you today about checking things off your list just to make yourself feel better.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that, Priscilla?
You said that like one of my favorite TikTokers. She talks about feeling better. That made me laugh. One of the things on my
your favorite TikTok?
Oh yes, you are. She's my favorite TikToker. One of my things that's on my list to check off, that's a big job, is fixing my refrigerator. It leaks water into the freezer, and then it freezes, and then it starts to leak out onto the floor. So I have to keep chopping big blocks of ice out of the bottom of my frost-free refrigerator. And I've been doing this for like 3 years, and I have still not messed with it. But I know, like, I have the instructions what I need to do to fix it. But it's one of those things that I just keep putting off. And I feel like if I could get that done, it would just make me feel so good. And we were talking about how sometimes there's things that would not be so hard, that just to get something done make you feel better. Like, for example, for me, the other day, I really wanted to I had 2 big bins of clothing that belonged to my older kids who have grown out of them, and I wanted to pull those out of the closet and see if anything would fit the 13-year-old, because she got bigger, she got taller, and I'm having to go out and buy new jeans and everything because everything's too short, long legs. So I pulled the 2 bins out, and we went through the 2 bins. And the older my kids get, the less bins I have to go through, because there's less stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So
they don't grow right now. The 2 oldest ones, anyway.
Yeah, they're done growing. So the older your kids get, the less growing they've got to do, the less stuff you've got stored away. So I was so happy just to get those 2 bins out and make decisions on it, especially with my 13-year-old. She can look at some of these things and say, I'm never, ever going to wear that. And I can say, okay, it can go to Goodwill, and we can set it free.
There you go.
What was your thing, Tina?
Well, I was telling you earlier, my email, I have about 10 different email addresses that I receive emails for. Now, because I work for my church, so there's 2 different addresses that I manage for the church. Plus, I have my personal email that church stuff comes to. I have an email address for a Toastmasters club, an email address for the district, and so that's 5 right there. And then there's my business email, my general Toastmasters email, and I mean, so I have like 10 email addresses that I actually check email for. And what I do is I flag things to go back later and address them, and then it takes me forever to go back and address them. And so I've been trying to make it a habit of getting rid of at least a couple of flagged emails a week. Some of them are things that are going to take me a while, right? Like I have to read the attachments and respond back with comments or whatever. And I have a tendency to flag things, and you know, my boss used to say, if you ignore a problem long enough, it'll go away eventually. And so if something has a deadline and I flag it and the deadline passes, then, well, that problem went away. I don't have to respond to that. But I hate being like that. And I'm usually pretty good about responding to emails that require a response. But sometimes it's stuff that I say, oh, I really need to read this. Like the latest on how to make your Instagram posts go viral or whatever. I'll say, oh, that's really good stuff. I need to read that. And then I'll flag it, and I'll never get around to reading it, right? Because I don't even use Instagram that much, but it's something that interests me. And so I told Priscilla, I think a couple of my volunteer positions are ending in a couple of weeks, and so I'm hoping to have some more free time. And I said, I'm really going to tackle that email and try to get my inbox completely cleaned out of all the emails, and I'm hoping that that'll work out. But I had, a situation like just last week, you guys were coming over to swim, and one of the things that we have put off doing was cleaning our landing off at the top of the stairs, because we were remodeling our bathroom, and in the middle of remodeling our bathroom, we had an issue with our roof that needed to be fixed. So AJ's attentions were diverted to fixing the roof and our fence because we were in a rush to get it done for insurance purposes. And then he's going to go back and finish the bathroom. And in the meantime, all the tools and paint and all that stuff was sitting on the landing at the top of our stairs, and we kept debating on whether we wanted to move it temporarily or not. And finally I knew Priscilla and the kids and Ken were coming over to go swimming, and I said, I'm cleaning that stupid landing off. And I must have made 10 trips up and down those stairs carrying heavy things.
I gave you a workout.
Yeah, it did, but that was good. I feel so much better. I feel so cleansed. You know, declutter. AJ always laughs about that because I say, I can't think right now because the house is too messy. We got to clean the house up so I can think.
It really does affect
it does.
Your mindset when you're surrounded by junk all the time.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things. There's things that you know you have to do, and every once in a while you notice them, and it eats at you. Like the emails. I have quite a few saved emails too that I probably can get rid of a bunch of stuff, because toward the end of the school year we kept getting things in the email about the end of the school year and about preparing for next year, and some of those are no longer relevant. I can get rid of those. So I need to pare down some of the emails too. I don't maintain nearly as many addresses as she does, but because I'm not in as many things as you are, but I have
over involved.
But I have we both have the Sensei Sisters email, and I have 3 business emails because I had trouble with sending bulk mail, so it was like I had 2. I had Yahoo and Gmail for those, and then I got my own dedicated email, so now I have that one. So I have 3, and for the business, and then 1 personal one, and then I think that's it. So I have like 5 on my phone, or 6, 5 or 6. I'm confused. I can't remember, but You're
half as bad as me.
And I think I have some email addresses that I don't think email actually goes to. If it does, then I've never seen the email.
I have a Gmail account that I use for absolutely nothing, because I had to have a Gmail account when Josh was at his old school, because whenever the school system sent me email, it would not arrive. And so they finally figured out it was an issue with Yahoo email and that you had to have a Gmail account. So I created this Gmail account simply for my child's 8th grade assignments, and never ever got rid of this stupid account. And every once in a while I accidentally send an email from that account because my phone doesn't pick the right email to, and so now I keep getting emails about every other thing, to that account. Toastmasters emails, church emails. So I finally went into that account the other day. I was so proud of myself. I went into that email account the other day and I set up an automatic response, and it says, this email account is not one that I actively check. Please send your email to the address below accordingly. And I said, Grace Lutheran Church email, and I put my email addresses for Grace, and Toastmasters email, and I put my Toastmasters, Sensei Sisters, I put my Sensei, and personal, and put my personal, and that way people will get that response, and hopefully they'll take that old address out of their inbox or their contact list.
And they can check one thing off your list.
Exactly. And then eventually I'm going to delete that account off my phone. I don't know if there's a way to delete a Gmail account.
That gets tricky.
Well,
know?
I have a Chalmette Toastmasters account. We don't have Chalmette Toastmasters anymore, but I'm just so afraid somebody's going to email that I could respond to. But it has an autoresponder on that as well. So anyway, aren't y'all enjoying hearing about all our email issues? You know what? One thing I'll say though is, we're talking about the to-do list. One way to feel better about that is to put everything on that freaking to-do list, you know? Because there's so many things that I will walk by at the house and I'll say, oh, we need to do that, or we need to do that. And I won't put them on my to-do list. And then when I do them, it's not as much fun because I don't have anything to check off. So definitely, and plus it'll keep you from forgetting. Like, you set tons of reminders on your phone. I need to do that. I need to do that. And the other thing is that I was going to say that just handle things when they come in, and it'll be a lot easier. Like they say, when you get mail, instead of going through the mail and then putting it down and then going through it again and putting it back down until you actually open stuff and handle things, you know.
Yeah, addressing things immediately.
Because you can throw half of that stuff away immediately.
Lately I have been real motivated about that. If we get something like a license plate renewal form or whatever, I try to do it within the first few days that we have it, so then it can get cleared away and off of my to-do list. Talking about having stuff on your phone, I would make, in my notes section on my phone, I would make all these to-dos, and then I would go in and put the little check box, and I would click the little check box, and then when I had done some of them, I would actually select them and delete them off, and then just have the other ones. And so I have all these little partial to-do lists that have never finished on my phone. But I decided there is something super satisfying about taking a pen and scribbling something out. So when the end of the school year came and I went through all my kids' notebooks and tore out the pages that they had filled in with notes for science and math and whatever, and I recycled those, and I kept the rest of the notebooks, because we ended up with these big thick notebooks and they only used a little bitty portion. I'm like, I am not wasting all that paper.
Yeah.
So I took my son's science notebook and I scratched out science and I wrote Priscilla's summer project book, and I sat down and I made pages of, this is what needs work around the house, and all these subcategories. It was very OCD, and it was super satisfying just to write them down. Now I've got to get on actually doing the things and check. But there's something very nice.
If you set a goal,
taking a Sharpie and just
do
scribbling
something
out.
like set a goal to do like one item a week or two items a week or whatever's realistic,
or
right?
focus on one room at a time. Whatever you find most satisfying in that way.
When I was in college, I remember doing a presentation on this thing called a priority matrix, and it's where you take like all of the things you have to do, and you put them on this matrix, and you put them on the left as like rows, and on the top as columns, right? So you have going across the top, you have all these things going down, same exact things, right? And then you compare the things to each other, and you mark whether it's a priority or not. So say, the first item on the list is do laundry, and then of course the first column would be do laundry. Well, you automatically put an X when they intersect, right? Laundry and laundry intersect. But then the next row is wash dishes. And so in the column, you're looking at laundry and wash dishes. Which one is a priority? And you give, I forget how it works. You give so many points, but at the end of it, it takes you down to, you have a list of what's the priority, right? And anyway, I don't remember how it works, but yeah, there's some kind of way that it helps you. And I did this whole presentation on it, and now I can't remember how it works. I probably shouldn't have even brought it up. But Google Priority Matrix.
But that could help people get working on their to-do list.
My husband is commenting, Jerome Bruner. Yeah, Jerome Bruner is a Harvard psychologist who has this quote that we like, that I know we've told y'all before, and it's, you're more likely to act yourself into a feeling than to feel yourself into an action. So if you're putting off doing something because you just don't feel like it, you need to go do it. Nike, just do it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. Do it. Priscilla's obsessed with Shia LaBeouf.
Just that video.
Just that video,
He's
not
a cute
him.
Kid. I don't know. He was a kid once.
He was cute.
Now he's
when he
grown.
was young.
He's quirky.
Tina's list, everything is a priority. This is true. Yeah. Everything is a priority. Make yourself a priority. I jumped ahead. Well, while you're doing all this stuff, the whole point is to feel better. And so and by doing that, you make yourself a priority.
Yeah, and you take care of you.
Have a great week.
Bye.